Come on in, sit back and relax. You're listening to episode 273 of the WealthTech Today podcast. I'm your host, Craig Iskowitz, founder of Ezra Group Consulting. This podcast features interviews, news, and analysis on the trends and best practices all around wealth management technology. My guest for this episode was Bob Santella, CEO of BetaNXT. Now, I'm going to read Rob's bio here. So Rob Santella has an extensive background in the financial and capital markets with a career spanning over 3 decades. He has a deep history in the trading technology space, as well as a strong focus on data science and technology operations. Most recently, Bob was CEO of IPC Systems, a provider of secure, compliant communications and multi-cloud connectivity solutions for the financial markets. His tenure at IPC was marked by a focus on technological transformations, including software and SaaS transitions, while growing revenue and increasing profitability. Bob began his career at PricewaterhouseCoopers, spending 8 years in a senior leadership role within the personal financial planning unit. He later served as Chief Operating Officer and President at Fox River Execution, which was later acquired by SunGard. While at SunGard, Bob was eventually promoted to President of its global trading division, leading all trading software, data, regulated entities, and services. Following SunGard's acquisition by FIS in 2015, he continued in his role as a division president with an expanded remit of products and solutions. Bob's diverse background and collaborative approach have been instrumental in developing high-performing teams and leading business through significant technological advancements. Now, what did we speak about? Of course, what's going on at BetaNXT. We talked about some industry trends that Bob felt were most impactful in 2024. We talked about a new product BetaNXT is launching called the Data Exchange. That's with a no E, Data X with a capital X change. We'll talk more about that. You'll hear more about that in the interview, what that is. And we covered 2025 future challenges and opportunities and some things that are on the BetaNXT roadmap. Now, before we go, let's do a couple quick housekeeping chores. Please subscribe to this show wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. Also, check out our sponsor, the Invest in Others Charitable Foundation at investinothers.org. And now, let's kick this thing off. All right, here we go with our next guest. I'm excited to introduce Bob Santella, CEO of BetaNXT. Hey, Bob, welcome.
Greg, pleasure to be here. Thanks for the opportunity to chat to you and your listeners.
Thanks for getting on here. I know you were really super busy over at BetaNXT as the new CEO. But before we jump in, where are you calling in from?
Right now, I'm calling over from Southern Manhattan, the financial district, really the heart of our industry on a very cold day right here in Southern Manhattan.
Man, I know the feeling. I'm in New Jersey, just a couple of miles from you, and it's we're here stuck in the frozen tundra. But I'm sure this will end at some point, so we can we'll just warm ourselves with this wonderful conversation about BetaNXT and some of the things you guys are doing. But if you could share with our audience, give us a 30-second elevator pitch for BetaNXT.
The BetaNXT is really formed with a vision to bring together wealth management transformation with a focus on a couple of things: data modernization and technology transformation strategies that bring together what we call connected wealth. What connected wealth means is exactly that. It connects clients to their providers, it connects providers to us, and it brings together multiple systems into an integrated platform that really provides a seamless experience for our customers and ultimately their end customers.
I don't know anyone who doesn't want a seamless experience in connectivity. It's something we're constantly beating the drum on here at Ezra Group, so I'm all about it. Let's talk about your role. So you've been in the industry for quite some time, and this you've just come on as the CEO of BetaNXT 6 months ago. What is it like? So, what are your initial observations? What have you learned in this first 6 months at this new company?
Well, several things stand out. Some are new, and some reinforce things I already knew. One is that BetaNXT in particular has really strong partnerships with our clients. We've worked with most of our clients for decades. It's a very symbiotic relationship. It really, truly does define the word partnership in many ways, which that collaboration between what we do and our partners/clients do, that's a large part of how we innovate. It really is a very collaborative experience, how we get feedback from the clients and industry, which drives us to innovate more. It's an iterative process, and something I think that really kind of is a hallmark of the company. Secondly, we listen to our clients and what we hear from our clients, and they hear from their clients. And I talked about this earlier. Their clients want a better experience. They want a better experience, which is specifically defined as uh, a seamless experience, a holistic experience, integrated experience that brings together real-time data, better analytics, AI tools that actually increase productivity as well as provide better value added. Ultimately, they want better investment decisions that increase their wealth and get better reporting and transparency into how their portfolios are performing.
Looking back at 2024, which we just closed the books on, what are some of the industry trends you have seen that you think are most impactful for the industry?
Yeah, there's several, and some I think have just grown in 24. Some are nascent, but one that stands out to me is that 2024, I think, really highlighted with a lot of our clients and other wealth management clients how the younger generation that are now in tune with investments, they expect a much more personalized digital experience with near real time data and insights. People, Craig, of our generation probably weren't quite in tune with things like real time data or digital. The younger generation wants that personalized digital experience. They're demanding it from the industry, and that's driving to a large part of innovation among the industry because there's competition, and people want to make sure to keep it up with the younger generation. I think we're seeing a much higher and keener focus on, I mentioned data quite a bit because people want to be able to use this data in ways they haven't used it in the past. Again, what that means specifically is taking data real time that gives them transparency into maybe markets they weren't exposed to previously, international markets, alternative asset markets, private markets, other type of investments that weren't around a decade ago or 2 decades ago. They want the access to it. They want better understanding and better reporting. Of course, we hear about AI across, that's not just unique to the financial or wealth industry. And AI, I think, in many ways offers a great promise for productivity increase and so forth. But we're still in the early innings in many ways of what the value of AI is going to be. In our industry and with BetaNXT and our clients, where we're seeing AI, artificial intelligence, and analytics is basically now providing more value when it comes to taking data and giving predictive benefit to that data. In other words, giving a value to data and not just pure reporting, not just black and white numbers, but what can you do with these numbers? It's giving you quicker access to information that in the past, where maybe you would have got reporting on a monthly basis or quarterly basis, you get instantaneous data. And that matters for people that want to make investment decisions. So they know where they stand today from where their tax basis may be, rather than wait to the end of the year. In our proxy business, Median, where in the past it was a very manual driven business, using AI tools, we're able now to scrape data and pull together information in literally a matter of minutes, where it used to take months because of the AI capabilities. So again, seeing the advent of AI and now taking the concept and turning it into reality is something that was a really big theme in 24. Going to continue to grow. Last, I talk about quite a bit this seamless or connected wealth theme at BetaNXT. It's really important because that means many things, but specifically what it means for us is the ability to integrate into other systems within our customers. Our customers use other systems besides BetaNXT. So the ability to integrate, but also integrate quickly in a way that's actually accurate is really important. Pulling together our systems into one platform rather than three platforms. We have three primary business lines at BetaNXT. A tax reporting and tax solutions business, Maxit, a proxy and investor communications business called Media, and our core clearing and services platform, Beta. Again, three separate businesses, but BetaNXT is the composition of those three business lines into an integrated platform. 24 was one where we really saw an emphasis on integration, seamless, and API driven.
I'm glad I was going to ask you about to describe the three businesses. I'm glad you did, because I think a lot of people may not be aware of the new BetaNXT and these different parts of the business. Everyone who's been in the industry, as you so kindly mentioned, as old as we are, Bob, knows the old beta clearing business, right? But understanding that BetaNXT is together these three businesses, proxy and Maxit and clearing, and with some new technology and some new refreshes, right, and integrations. So I think that's important to mention that. Integrations also, well, we see that as very important. Again, as consultants to the industry, we spent decades struggling with integrations. And one of the reasons why we built out the Ezra Group WealthTech Integration Score, because not every firm is like BetaNXT that has a drive and desire to build a seamless connected wealth platform that has strong and robust integrations. So we built that research to encourage the industry to do more of that. So we're really have to give you guys kudos for taking the lead there. So speaking about connected wealth, there was a recent press release that BetaNXT put out about a new product called Data Exchange. Can you tell us about that product? What is it? What's behind it, and how is it going to change the industry?
Yeah, so data exchange is really one of the most exciting things we're doing, Craig. And I know sometimes press releases don't do justice to really the value, because the data in many ways is something that's under the covers and back-ended. It's not really retail facing in many ways as far as how it's managed and how it's parsed and so forth. But think of our data exchange platform, which we did launch in 2024 in partnership with a firm called Snowflake. We're basically creating a structure and a platform that's streamlining and the exchange and commingling of data, both from internal sources and external sources. So every one of our clients, think of big wealth advisory firms and big banks, have all sorts of data they bring together. We're able to take all this data and bring it into a single platform and put it into the cloud, working with Snowflake. So now it's cloud-based. So clients are basically accessing all the data they need, and we call it Data Vault, or basically their own secure, with strong governance around that data in their own private data vault, pretty much real time. So they're able to take this data, and by taking the data real time, where previously it was end of day, or done in a batch process, they're able now to actually find other ways that are more flexible and more malleable of how to use that data. What does it mean specifically? Taking data where clients want to see different types of reporting for their investments, how they bring multiple investments that used to be in different reports into a single report. However, maybe you had a report that was end of the day PDF, be a pop-up report that might be editable. These are all the type of things that are real time and really innovative from the retail end. And we succeed when our clients succeed. And so at BetaNXT, we're always looking at our clients saying, how do you view your success for your clients? And how can we help drive that success? Data exchange is something that has resonated beyond our expectations, because clients all need data. Their biggest challenge often has been, how do I manage this data in a cost-effective and a better value? Data exchange is our platform and a better way to do that. The more exciting thing for us, Craig, going forward, and we'll talk about this, is what do we build on this platform that gives specific solutions and new products that takes that data and really does supercharge the experience for our clients.
I was pretty excited when I saw that press release, because it's another area that here at Ezra Group we've been beating the drum about for our clients in the industry, is to own your own data. And that requires vendors like BetaNXT to build the platforms that we can then use. So we can deploy it to our clients. So here's a way you can own your own data. But one question I always ask is it agnostic? So is it open architecture, or is it only for beta data?
So it's truly agnostic, it's truly open architecture. And so, of course, a lot of our clients use the beta generated data, which is from our beta platform, comes from the clearing and trades and other activity that they use data. But our data exchange platform, again, in conjunction with working with Snowflake, is a very flexible platform that's completely agnostic and can integrate any form of data that the client is currently using or wants to use from any source, as long as we have enough time to work with the client on integration protocol and development, which typically is pretty quick. And I will tell you, just from the time we start talking about this, Craig, when we launched this middle of last year till now, we already have more than half a dozen clients signed up as pilot users for this platform. So it goes to show there's actually huge demand within the industry and with our client base to really accelerate the progress on this platform, and it really goes beyond our initial expectations.
Talking about a huge demand for open architecture data platforms, if you're managing operations or technology for an enterprise wealth management firm, you're probably dealing with data problems right now. It could be data in your CRM, your portfolio management system, proposal generation platform, or reporting, just to name a few. The one thing all these systems have in common is that their data needs to be organized, stored, and managed so you can leverage it across your business. Otherwise, you're just wasting a lot of time and money. When we started working with any RIA or broker-dealer, one of the first things we do is a comprehensive data assessment. This provides a top-to-bottom view of all the incoming data feeds, which downstream systems depend on them for successful processing and reporting. This data assessment is a critical part of any firm's growth plans since it's the foundation of building or improving the firm's data warehouse solutions. If you want to see your firm's data turned into an asset instead of remaining a liability, you need to run, not walk, to our website, EzraGroup.com, and click on the golden Contact Us button on the homepage. The experienced team at Ezra Group will conduct a detailed data assessment for you, delivering targeted recommendations to optimize your existing data warehouse systems or put together a new cloud-based solution to help take your firm to the next level. You can schedule a free consultation by going to EzraGroup.com. Now, can I then, once I have my data into Data Exchange, whatever the data set is, whatever the source or the framework around that data, can I then automate it? And what can I then do with that besides just running a report? Is there any other automation that you're going to have available there?
Yeah, it's just about completely automated. And terminology that we use, Craig, to define this is if we simplify it down for your listeners, is that in the past we talk about file transfer and data transfer. Now we talk about data access. What that would mean by having it in a real-time data vault in the cloud, it gives our clients and then ultimately their clients real-time access. So you talk about what can I do with the data? We're not worried about transferring multiple sources of data anymore. It's always completely synchronized with one single source, so you get rid of the problem of data integrity and so forth. You always have high integrity data you're dealing with. So whenever clients have this data, it goes beyond just reporting. It goes beyond. This is where I talk about the innovation that we do with BetaNXT with our clients in a collaborative fashion. We're now taking that data and going to clients, all who have their own unique use cases and things they want to do with that data, and say, we deal with corporate actions, for example. Every client has corporate actions to varying degrees. How can we now better manage corporate actions? That's a very data-driven function and process in a more automated fashion. The automation and the efficiency, for example, in corporate actions as a result of using data exchange has increased exponentially compared to the typical manual nature of what you've had to done, what we've done in the past when it comes to that sort of process. And that goes across all of our businesses, whether it be our tax business, Maxit, or Meeting, our investor communications, or Beta. Data exchanges crosses over all three of those businesses. And a good example is our Maxit business generates a ton of its own data in the tax area. And we're now rolling out data exchange specific tax driven solutions that in the past would have been very manual and very time consuming. Now in a matter of minutes, we're producing value added type reports and value added data driven solutions that give more predictive and more value added metrics to their clients, from things like tax scores to tax optimization and other things that give clients kind of a tax wrapper perspective around their investor portfolio.
Bob, don't jump ahead. That's my next topic, tax-driven solutions. I want to talk about that one in a second, but going back to corporate actions, that really rings a bell with me. Back in a previous life when I worked for a large firm, in the industry that we dealt with corporate actions is such a nightmare, having to manage them and having to bring the data in and then understand. Each provider was providing a different format, and so we didn't really necessarily have the right process, and we would miss things. So that's a little known area, sort of a backwater, but super important when it comes to managing your portfolios. If your corporate actions processing has got a glitch, that could cause some serious performance problems, serious reporting problems, and clients will not be happy. So is there something else around corporate actions that BetaNXT has done, maybe when it comes to AI?
Yes, we've launched actually in conjunction with Data Exchange and launched last year, Craig, and now we're really investing a lot of money in this, a specific corporate action project that really is in tandem in conjunction with Data Exchange. And by that I mean, it gets the thrust of what you discussed. Corporate actions is a super critical process for every firm. It's behind the scenes, but whether it be a merger, a company calling a bond, a special dividend payment, these are all types of actions that really have low or no margin for error. They have to be accurate, even if it's not apparent to the end retail customer. It affects that customer. Most of the firms you're talking about from our generation used to have dozens of people, sometimes just in some back office basement, working on the heavy manual process that involved corporate actions that in and of itself created a human error possibility, as well as just very time consuming part of dealing with that function. What we're doing with AI now is we're able to automate what we call the scraping of data, pulling through literally millions of documents, dealing directly with customer databases, SEC databases, and other things where you pull information. But again, we used to take months of human time. Now it takes minutes or hours of automation, pulling the information into something that provides much more accurate experience when it comes to corporate actions, super exponentially quicker experience in corporate actions, and something that really has allowed our clients to spend less time and focus their time on more value-added functions, and not just have dozens of people doing something that was a manual process in the past. We've gotten rave reviews, I tell you, from our clients on the progress we've made in this area. It's something, again, corporate actions affect every single participant in the marketplace. Something they have to do. They want to do it better. AI hasn't made a little bit of a difference here. It's made a lot of difference as far as how clients now see the value.
One question I had, so if I've got an enterprise client and that I've been pushing to implement a data management solution, but they're not a BetaNXT client right now, can they still sign up for data exchange and get that implemented without being a beta or a Maxit client?
Absolutely. Our initial focus, because it's been a fast-moving initiative for us from launching it a few months ago, we've gone from concept to development to now fully production in a matter of 3 to 6 months. Focus has been on our initial beta max and immediate or BetaNXT client base, Craig. However, we're already getting inbound inquiries from non-beta clients. So for us, what's exciting, one, as I mentioned earlier, we're agnostic. We can serve those clients. And the fact that we now get a reputation for having the expertise to manage this, then that creates additional opportunities now for our company to expand our services beyond data exchange to those clients. So from an unselfish point of view, we want to be the data expert for the industry. From a selfish point of view, we want to expand our capabilities beyond data exchange to new clients and new logos. Data exchange is one way we're doing that.
Fantastic. All right. So now I want to roll back to what you mentioned, the tax-driven solutions. So can you explain more about that? Maybe, when it comes to the tax-driven, how AI is driving that and what could clients see differently now and how would that improve the way they're doing tax for their clients, having this AI-driven solution from BetaNXT?
Yeah, and I jumped in earlier, Craig, because as you might be able to tell, I'm really passionate about this. I don't. This tax may
You
now.
can tell, Bob. It's coming
Yeah,
out. It comes right through.
yeah. I mean, it's like a sexy thing, but I got to tell you, tax is one of those things that can really add value to the client experience because it can save you money. It can help you
Mhm.
make better investment decisions, right? It gives you a perspective, kind of how to evaluate your portfolio through a different prism. I would tell you that, and as you know from your experience, and your listeners probably know, tax basis calculation, what you bought a security for, and when you sell it, and tax reporting, they're required by law. So every client needs to provide at the end of the year or throughout the year tax basis calculations and tax reporting. That's where you hear these forms like 1099s and K1s and other things that come out to our clients. So we're a leader in that space, and especially in the tax basis area, we're one of the few firms that have the expertise in the area to provide not just end of the year, end of the quarter now, where AI is helping us, Craig, is in a couple different areas. We're now able to provide pretty much real-time basis calculation to our clients. So if somebody wants to pop up on the screen and say, where do I stand today, and get a snapshot of realized and unrealized gains on my portfolio, immediately we can do that. By having access to that information, you can make more real-time investment decisions and give you a perspective on where you want to head with your portfolio. What's more exciting with us, and we're doing this with a couple partnerships with people that have really, really strong AI engines, we're taking our tax data and we're providing what we call predictive analytics. And there's two areas in particular we're using this data that our clients really find intriguing and exciting. One is we're able to give our financial advisory clients a better sense of what attrition they may have within their financial advisory base. So, for example, financial advisory firms want to retain their advisors. Using even our tax data and using regression analysis with our AI, we think with an over 90% confidence level, we can give them a score of what their attrition risk might be as far as losing advisors. So that's something that's kind of new. It goes well beyond tax, but it's using our tax data to generate that score. And it's something we've been demoing now with a couple of our clients. On the tax specific area of AI, we're now able to generate what we call simply a tax score or kind of a tax optimization type metric, which just takes the tax data and not just reports it, but gives you a better idea of where you stand from a tax optimization point of view with your investment portfolio. And what that means specifically, are you taking advantage of long-term capital gains versus short-term capital gains? It's a lower rate on long-term capital gains. Are you taking advantage of qualifying dividends versus non-qualifying dividends? Much lower tax rate on qualifying dividends. Are you optimized as far as withholding on international securities? Because international securities sometimes have tax withholding. And we're pulling those together again in an integrated fashion. That's the value add. It's not just reporting. It's saying how can we actually help your clients save money and understand the tax aspect of their investment portfolio.
I'm a big fan of scoring in our industry. At Ezra Group, we created our own integration score called the WealthTech Integration Score to score how well applications integrate with each other. So when I hear you're scoring stuff, ooh, my ears perk up as well. So you mentioned tax optimization scoring. Is that on a portfolio by portfolio basis? Does it roll up to the household level as well?
At this point, as we evaluate this with our clients, it's pretty much done on a portfolio by portfolio basis.
Mhm.
I think and each firm again has sort of their own unique perspective how they want to communicate to their clients, how they structure their statements to their clients, and how they kind of report out to their clients. But I think every one of the clients are intrigued by, and some actually have gone to second and third base on this, Craig, where they want to take these scores or this value added. Now, we have to make sure that we're not in the business of providing tax advice because we're
Mhm.
not. And our clients are very careful to make sure they have the regulatory and legal thing. We're not providing tax advice. But on black and white type items where you can determine where is something actually taking advantage of a lower tax rate or a lower tax withholding number or a type of gain, we want to make sure people are aware of that. And I think right now what clients are doing is saying, how can I apply it to the end portfolios? And at some point, I expect that anything we're seeing, if it makes sense, we're going to see the progress accelerate much quicker than it's accelerated up to this point in time.
Awesome. Any way advisors are looking for ways to differentiate themselves and offer more value-added services for less cost and less effort, right? They don't want to spend any more time on it. They just want to be able to deliver it. So having this built into the underlying platform seems like a super easy way to offer that value. You mentioned a second score called the advisor, which I'm calling the advisor attrition risk score.
Mhm.
How does that work exactly? And so if I'm a broker-dealer, large wealth management firm with hundreds of advisors, thousands of advisors, what data am I going to get, and how do I act on that?
Yeah, so if you think of when we do a BetaNXT with our tax division or our beta division, we actually generate terabytes of data every day that cover a host of activity, the wide spectrum from dividends to trading activity to corporate action activity and so forth. In our tax business, what we're doing, we're taking basically most of that data. We are using proprietary models from a third party in many cases, and taking that data, and we're basically providing a 3-month look back called regression analysis, 3-month look back, taking multiple factors and based on several factors that would determine how clients are trading, how clients are interacting with the financial advisor. Has there been a change in their activity levels? It then generates basically a range of you now may have risk with this financial advisory group or financial advisor that their behavior has changed to a point that they're at risk of leaving. And as you know from the industry, it's been a growing industry the last couple of decades, particularly the last decade, so that's been good. But there's also, again, much more competition among the advisory firms. And usually there's low barriers for advisors to leave from one firm to another. And advisors, obviously, and firms want to keep their advisors. That's how they make money, by growing their AUM. So when they get this type of score, and it's still in the stage of making sure it's tested and it pans out, but the early reads are very promising here. The next set of questions then is, now that I know I have this risk, I know why I have the risk, what do I do about it? So that's up really to the financial firm to make that decision. If they understand the reasons why they might lose advisors and what drove that, that's great. But more importantly, if they want to retain the advisors, it's up to them now to make decisions on how to handle that.
So is there a certain number? Is it one number or is it a range that you say, well, if they're in this range, first of all, is it out of 100?
It's out of 100, and it's out of 100. It's typically in a range,
Right. So is the higher number means they're more likely to leave or less likely to leave?
less likely.
Right. So the lower the score,
Yeah,
the more likely they are to leave.
yeah.
And so you say, well, if it's below 30 or something, then you should watch out.
Yeah, but it obviously goes down. It's probability weighted. So as you start going down, it eventually becomes self-fulfilling. Obviously, you get to zero, you lost that person. But in between, like I said, these because AI is still a relatively new thing, and you are dealing with humans. You're not just when you talk about advisors. So even though you're getting scores and based on fairly accurate data, people change their minds. The market has an impact on behavior as well. As you know, we can control BetaNXT as well as our clients, but we don't control movements in the markets and interest rates and liquidity and other just external and macro risk that impacts things. But notwithstanding the macro and market type risk, I think the clients we demo this to, and as we've gone down the path, they're excited about it. It's something that they haven't seen, but they want. Again, if you think about what you want to do as a financial advisory firm, you want to grow your assets ultimately, and you grow your assets two ways. The market increases the value of assets, and you bring on more assets through more advisors, and they bring more clients on board. Any way to retain your clients is a positive thing.
I'm a little disappointed, Bob, that you can't control interest rates. Can't you get that product out? Give me the interest rate control product. I want to be able to just crank it either way I want.
Well, I was thinking of applying for the head of the Fed, but I'm happy with my job right now, BetaNXT, Craig, so I'll stay here for the time being.
Yeah, get this under control first, then we'll bump you up to the Fed.
Yeah.
All right, so we're almost out of time. Let's talk about strategic priorities and what's coming in 25. So what's some innovation or some ideas? What's on the roadmap that BetaNXT clients can expect to see this year?
Yeah, a couple of things. And some things aren't always so apparent, but they said our business, which isn't always deemed as being quote unquote sexy, is super critical to our clients. So on our main platform for clearing, but the old beta platform that comprises our largest BetaNXT business, we're now actually spending a lot of money, a lot of time on upgrading our core platform for operations. Again, it doesn't sound sexy, but it is. If you think, Craig, our generation, a lot of people in the operations area use what we call green screens, old single screens.
Oh yeah.
Weren't very exciting. We've now gotten away from that by putting a multi-million-dollar investment in something called Ops Workbench. And Ops Workbench now is a modular, in some ways, cloud-based way for our clients now at an operation level to now much quicker, much more accurately, and much more modern way access the operation functions needed within the firm, whether it be, again, within corporate actions, trade activity, dividends, and so forth. We've gone away from the green screens and old operation systems that still worked into a modern thing called Ops Workbench. And we built upon Ops Workbench in a modular fashion to start expanding functionality, depending what a firm's needs are. Talk about the tax area. Again, basically it's basis and reporting. And again, that's the foundational solutions we offer, predictive analytics and so forth. We want to actually build out even a more robust reporting structure. What that means particularly is when you talk about reporting, it's not just 1099s, which is the mainstay reporting. It's having the ability to serve as every reporting requirement in every state, not just federal, where it's required, and every type of entity. We have most of that covered. We're going to make sure we have 100% or almost 100% coverage this year and make sure we have any sort of needs that our clients have from a product and reporting point of view. We want to be able to serve them from both the generic reporting, but also quicker, like I said, in more real-time fashion. In our media and proxy division, we talked about how AI is benefiting that. We're seeing just even the last couple of weeks since the holiday season, Craig, and going to this year, as we enter, we call proxy season, which is the most exciting time of the year for our media business.
It's the most exciting time of the year. It's
I can hear them
season.
I can hear them sing that song right now down in Cary, North Carolina, where we're based, Craig. They do get generally excited about this time of year. That's their busy season. They're pumped up to do it. And now they're already seeing where last year we had hundreds of people working in an area. It's been down to actually using AI to actually now put together proxies, bring data together. So what we're doing more in that space, we're taking the AI capabilities that we developed a few months ago. Now we're expanding those capabilities that were within the media division across the other two divisions in BetaNXT, Maxit and Beta, and we're taking that the same general logic and same ledger kind of AI principles and instilling best practices and an integrated, really integrated experience for the whole business.
Bob, I love your passion and what's going on at BetaNXT. Thanks for sharing that roadmap. We are now out of time. Can you please let the audience know where they can find out more information about BetaNXT?
Well, simply those that have access to the web, which I assume is everybody, go to BetaNXT.com. That's BetaNXT.com. You go there, you'll find everything you need to know. If you Google BetaNXT, you'll have access to a lot of other information, and we're always here available to answer any questions and happy to talk to anybody out there in the marketplace.
Fantastic, Bob. You said it all. Thanks so much.
Craig, I appreciate the time from you and your listeners, and I want to congratulate you on your success and everything that you've done along with your career.
Hey, I'll take that. Thanks, Bob.
See ya.
Hey, it's Craig again. Here are my top 3 takeaways from this episode. The data exchange platform from BetaNXT launched in partnership with Snowflake. It provides real-time, cloud-based data management. It is technology agnostic, open architecture platform that can integrate data from any source, and it should enable faster, more flexible reporting and data access for clients. And they already have 6 pilot users signed up since it launched a few months ago. BetaNXT is experimenting and testing some AI-driven solutions, including corporate actions to automatically scrape data from millions of documents, reducing processing time from months to minutes. AI solutions around tax optimization, providing real-time cost basis calculations and predictive analytics, including a tax score for portfolio optimization, and some AI-driven solutions around advisor retention using regression analysis on trading client interaction data to predict attrition risk, which they believe has 90% confidence. Some strategic priorities for 2025. BetaNXT is developing an ops workbench for a modular platform to modernize core operations. They're expanding their tax reporting, and they are working on some proxy season enhancements, leveraging AI to improve efficiency during busy proxy voting periods. And that's a wrap. You reached the end of another episode of the WealthTech Today podcast. Thanks for listening. But before you go, head over to our website, EzraGroup.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage and sign up for our newsletter. Once a month, you'll receive an email chock full of wealth management goodness, news, information, and updates. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again for listening, and talk to you all again next time.